Back with us on the SportsMax zone, the West Indies have Bangladesh by the lapel in the second test in Dhaka, following an impressive second-day performance with both bat and ball at the Sherry Bangla National Stadium. Having posted an imposing 409 in their first knock, relatively speaking of course, the Windies limited Bangladesh to 105 for 4, 304 runs in arrears. And Nkrumah Bonner, Joshua De Silva and Alzarri Joseph all got within touching distance of a three-figure score. Ricardo Chambers sums up what happened on day 2, a fruitful one for the Caribbean side.
West Indies resuming day 2 on 223 for 5, and Nkrumah Bonner and Joshua De Silva showing positive intent, the two adding 43 runs before Bonner turned one to leg slip, their partnership ending at 88 as the right-hander fell 10 short of a maiden test century. Joshua De Silva used the sweep and reverse sweep shots to brilliant effect as he brought up his second test 50. But it was Alzarri Joseph who dominated the bowling, the Antiguan especially savage on the spinners. West Indies went to lunch at 325 for 6, having added 102 in the morning session. And after the break, Joseph reached his second test 50.
Some really clean hitting from Alzarri Joseph to pick.
De Silva faced 187 deliveries and struck 10 fours. He shared the innings' highest partnership, 118 with Joseph, before a Taijul Islam delivery snuck past him. Joseph slammed 8 fours and 5 sixes in his entertaining 82 of 108 balls before nicking one off an attempted pull. Jamil Warkan also edged to the keeper. Shannon Gabriel, though, played 2 classy number 11 shots before he was last man out. West Indies 409 all out. Pacer Abu Jaid 4 for 98 and left-arm spinner Taijul Islam 4 for 108 ended with the most wickets for the home side. Bangladesh started their reply in the final session and reached 105 for 4 at the close, Gabriel taking the first 2 wickets, ending with 2 for 32 from 8 overs. A wicket as well for Akeem Cornwall, sharp catch by De Silva, and Joseph getting into the act, getting rid of Tamim Iqbal, who has so far top scored with 44. So, West Indies very much in control with Bangladesh 304 runs behind and 6 wickets in hand. Here is De Silva talking about his innings.
I'm very happy with the result. Got a half century, but it's not good enough. I was 8 runs short, and yeah, I was gutted. Probably shed a little tear or two walking off just because I wanted to get there so badly, but hopefully there's more opportunities and I get it the next time.
De Silva also reiterating his captain's stance that this Windies squad has what it takes to sweep the series.
Well, none of these guys here are second-string players. We all know we can play Test cricket, and we're showing that. It's just about carrying on with the form we've been in, and then just continuing on these next 3 days, and hopefully we get the victory to make it 2-0.
To use the cricketing cliche, Alzarri Joseph struck some lusty blows. Well, we're turning now to Fazir Mohammed for perspective on day 2. Good afternoon, Fazir.
Good afternoon. I was just quickly Googling the dictionary of the human anatomy to find out where the lapels are, but wherever they're located, I think Bangladesh are in quite a bit of trouble.
For sure. And I'm sure you found out that they are on the jacket and you knew this. Come on, Fazir. There we go. So let's just start the analysis first, Fazir, by examining the Windies' bowling performance. From the first test, we've been talking about spin, and you have said, and I have said that, good fast bowling, effective anywhere. Gabriel and Joseph really showing that, yeah, if you bowl properly as a fast bowler, you're going to get wickets on any track.
Properly and get the support of your captain by setting the correct field. We talked about that as well ahead of this second test match. And credit to the captain, to the team for learning, because that's all you really want to see from your cricketers, from your sportsmen, from your sportswomen, that they learn as they progress. And it's quite obvious that Craig Brathwaite as captain learned from the fact that he was a bit too timid on that first morning of the first test, didn't really put the pressure on the batsmen that he should have, and they bowled to a particular plan. You've got that pace, that real pace of a Shannon Gabriel. You've got the extra bounce of an Alzarri Joseph on any track, especially against Bangladesh. You use it, and they got some early reward. And no doubt, going into the third day's play tonight, our time, they'll be looking to really press that advantage on once more.
Yeah, let's talk about them three West Indies. Well, we can go back to Nkrumah Bonner because his innings was 16 runs shorter than of what it ended up being. The three West Indies batsmen who made 82 or more, but falling short of a century. Let's start with Bonner first. 90 of 209 balls, 281 minutes, 7 fours at the crease, 10 runs shy. He didn't complete the century.
No, he didn't, but his time will come because you sense in him someone, as we've said before, he's been around for a long time. He's really taking advantage of this opportunity, and all credit to him, all power to him to play within his own game, not to get carried away by the shot making of other players or being compared with others. This is his game. And yes, obviously disappointing, not able to get to three figures, but the way he plays, because again, you can build an innings around someone like an Nkrumah Bonner in the same way that we saw on that last day of the first test match. And if he continues to play that way, if he continues to grow and build his game, those three figures will become quite regular.
Yeah, Joshua De Silva still new, not imprisoned by the sense of failure at this level because he's not really failed at this level significantly yet. 92 from him, 10 fours, 187 balls, 268 minutes. It deserved three figures, that knock, didn't it?
It deserved three figures, but as he said, it means so much to him. For him to admit that he was almost shedding a tear when he fell for 92, that tells you how much it would have meant to him. He's a young man, like all the others getting their opportunities, who really value playing for the West Indies. And I think also, very importantly, for Joshua De Silva, you notice him wearing that black armband, and many were asking the question why. And indeed, as was revealed on SportsMax with the story carried on the SportsMax website, he was wearing it in recognition of today being a day for the burial of the young lady Andrea Barrett, who was kidnapped and savagely murdered just over a week ago. And today was a day of protest with a funeral taking place today. So here you have a very impressive young man who's not only aware of his role in a West Indies team so early in his career, but also recognizes that he has a message to send, and there's a broader and more important message to send than just bat and ball. Impressive with the bat, yes, but even more impressive with his awareness of the circumstances in his homeland.
You know, I don't want anybody to tell me that this is just Bangladesh, because again, many teams have played against Bangladesh, and their number 8 batsman hasn't done what Alzarri Joseph did. 82 clean hitting, showing us again that those who have said for some time that he's more than just a promising fast bowler, he can bat as well. He showed more than a glimpse of that in that innings.
As he did against New Zealand, you're certainly not going to get me to say it was only Bangladesh, because I expected the West Indies to lose this test series.
Me too, sir, me too.
Yeah, so I'm being forced to eat my words, and I'll happily continue to eat my words if it happens to be 2-0 for the West Indies. But yes, Alzarri Joseph is showing that he has that shot-making ability. He has that sense of awareness. Yes, he might give you a half chance here and there because that's the way he plays, but he's riding his luck, and he's a very powerful striker of the ball. He's a clean striker of the ball, so you can't afford to be relaxed with Alzarri Joseph at the crease. If you've got someone holding it firm at the other end, the runs are going to flow, and that puts pressure on the opposition, whether it's New Zealand, whether it's Bangladesh, whether it's some other team that's going to come across his flashing blade. They're going to learn that he is certainly developing, not an all-rounder yet, let's not get carried away, but has that tendency and that ability to become a genuine all-rounder.
All right, so this partnership that is still going for Bangladesh is worth 34 runs. Do the West Indies break that partnership early and consider that they've broken the back of this Bangladesh innings, or do you expect that there's some fight to come later on in the order from the homesters?
I would be very surprised if they take anything for granted, this West Indies team, because I think they've suffered enough already as far as their low expectations, as far as them being written off, and now is their time. And therefore, if they were to go tonight, our time, and blast through that 5th wicket pair early, I would be very surprised if they were to say, well, okay, mission almost accomplished, because there's quite a bit of work to do. There's no time for relaxation in Test cricket. The moment you relax, The moment you take things for granted, you could slip and then slide. And therefore, the West Indies, having endured what they've had to endure for much of 2020 and at the start of 2021, they'll want to ensure that if they do get that early breakthrough, and that's not a given, that they really press home the advantage.
Fazir, I end by saying you and I are alike because we both bet on, you don't bet, we were both saying that Bangladesh would win this two-test series, and people are looking at us and saying, well, we always knew that they would have won. And I say, well, if I'm celebrating now, like you, my passport says CARICOM, and I'm not a subordinate Caribbean person relative to you, so I can support or not support when I like, and I can jump on the bandwagon whenever time because it's my bandwagon.
Indeed, spoken like a true lawyer, and at the end of it, I have no idea what you just said.
I know you didn't. Fazir Mohammed, all the best to you. We'll talk again next week. Brent Sancho, are you there? Yes, he is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Brent. So the Caribbean boys 1-0. The most important thing about the first test, Brent, was that there was no way for them to lose the series. So that pressure is gone. They now had a very strong platform to push on and win the second test. And so far, they've given themselves every chance to crush the home side in the second test.
You know, some of the conversation leading into this, of course, this is a second-string West Indies team. And one thing is striking me, George, is the fact that here's a group of players that want to fight for the West Indies shirt, that is really reveling in the fact that they've gotten this opportunity to play. And maybe we're looking at a situation where the players, the first-string West Indies team, maybe this just doesn't have the fight that this group has, because they really want to, of course, do well in the West Indian shirt. And you know, when they come out of this series, I know the conversation is going to be, well, maybe they should be given their chance to play again. I think that question, of course, will have to be answered by the selectors, but they're going to have a tough question to answer.
Well, as we break, Brent, I'll say to you, those who didn't go to Bangladesh can continue to make themselves unavailable. No problem. Back with more after these.